Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down. Angela, hi.
Natalie, hello. Hello.
What's up?
I mean, you know, I'm just pumped to be here today because of what we're going to be talking about.
I know, sis. Speaking of sis.
What a segue.
My beloved sister, Lauren Sanderson Kilgore, is here today. Again, back with us. Thank you. Hey, Lauren.
Hey.
So Lauren is returning to PYBD she did the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels episode with us and the episode when we talked about the wildly cringe, inappropriate family movie Threesome.
Oh, God.
Those were the two different eps.
Still haven't recovered
we kind of
really
wilded
from
out
that.
on the Threesome one. That was hilarious. And
it was really
we got
funny.
a lot of feedback about that episode and how relatable it was. Maybe not with that movie because not everyone's family is like fucked up about movies like that as ours. But sorry, Darren, you got to get the pin for the
There it
Fs.
is. F word number one.
Right
F word number one.
Right out of the gate.
Because it has to be, it's bleeped on the podcast, but it's not on the YouTube, Lauren. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a
on YouTube,
show.
we're dirty? We're dirty on
get
YouTube. Okay.
nasty.
I did not know that. Okay.
We nasty. No, we're not. We're ladies. Anyway, so today, gals, we're going to be talking about one of all of our favorite mockumentary films, Waiting for Guffman, Christopher Guest movie from 1996. And we'll do a synopsis of this movie, but I wanted Lauren to kind of just give a little info about how the Sandersons became obsessed with Christopher Guest movies. And we'd all seen This Is Spinal Tap, but there were so many years past that we forgot about, about Christopher Guest. And I was very young when I first saw Spinal Tap. I saw that a lot more after I'd watched Waiting for Guffman and revisited all that and Best in Show, all that shit. So, oh my God, I am so cussy today. I got to cool it.
Wow.
I
Natalie,
feel cussy. It might be the two Zyrtecs I took for the allergies. I feel like I'm on steroids. I had to.
Oh my gosh. I would be on the
my
floor
eyes were itching
if I
so
did
bad.
that.
Oh
my
anyway.
gosh. Okay. Well,
so we'll do.
Good
I want
luck.
Lauren to kind of tell us, she got our family into it, and my dad it changed his life forever. So Lauren was at UMass at college. She came home for. I'm sorry. You go ahead, Lauren.
Yes. Lauren, take it away.
Sure. No, so one summer I stayed up in Massachusetts to take some summer classes, and me and one of my best friends from college were living together in this house by ourselves, and we didn't really have cable or anything, but we had two VHSs, or I guess all we had were several VHSs. One was Waiting for Guffman, and then the other was the box set of Twin Peaks.
Oh my God.
Both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah. Wildly different.
It was a wild
Seriously.
summer, I will tell you that.
It's still cult classic-y, though. I mean, that's the common thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't remember how we got them. I think we rented them and they just never returned them by accident.
Back in the
I had a nickel.
Blockbuster days.
Yep.
But we watched Waiting for Guffman pretty much every day before class. There was also some enhancements taken at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
There was
I don't know what you're talking about, but
apparatuses. We would smoke a joint.
Hookah?
And watch. Yeah, hookah. We were hookahing.
You didn't. I
You were
thought y'all
hookahing.
had
Before the morning.
crazy bongs.
Okay,
That's what she meant. She's trying to say that in a not,
I
you know.
guess it's cool.
It's
not like I'm in a
legal,
rubber
you
office.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fine. It's
Okay.
weed.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, we were ripping tubes.
Not for
and watching
nothing,
Waiting
every
for
parent
Guffman
has
before
taken it.
class.
Ripping tubes,
Ripping
she just
tubes.
said.
Yeah.
One day I'll tell my story of why my parents found it in the back of my car because I didn't think they knew what it was.
Well,
17.
we can just cut to that
They
story
knew.
right there. It was a bong.
It was a bong.
Yeah. So, yeah, we would smoke a bong, watch Waiting for Guffman, go to class, and actually made excellent grades. And then we'd come back and home and drink daiquiris for dinner.
Some people
I think
can
that
do
seems
that.
It was one of the
completely
best
legit.
summers of my life. I'm not
No
going to lie.
doubt, man. That
If your
sounds
goal is
amazing.
If your
If
goal
I
is
didn't
to
get the
get good
munchies, I'd be
grades,
doing that right now.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
So, and we watched it almost every day for an entire summer. And it was it's one of those things that when you discover it, it's like discovering fire. And you obsess over it, and the more you watch it, the more you uncover, and
Yes.
the more you
Yes.
just
What an
the more you
onion.
can see, and especially the more you smoke pot, and it's just
I need to. You know what? I might do that just and watch this, and because I never did that because I'm not good with the weed. I feel like I feed my pants and I eat out of the trash. So I will
Wow.
actually revisit.
Natalie
the
turns
weed for
into a
this.
trash panda. You turn into
yeah.
a
Natalie
raccoon.
told me she puts soap on top
I have
of
to
her
put
trash
soap on the trash because I have
when
to
she
put the
smokes
cookies
pot,
in.
so she doesn't dive in.
I will actually eat out of the trash can. Any chips in the house, they are covered in
Whoa.
soap. Any ice cream, cookies.
Oh my
It's a
goodness.
thing.
I've caught
Can't.
Collins eating pie out of the trash more than once. I should
Oh.
try
Wow,
the
y'all
soap
are-
thing.
I have no shame of eating out of the garbage. Period. If
Well,
there's
I do.
peanut
Oh
butter,
my gosh.
I have to fill the peanut butter, Peter Pan peanut butter, full of soap. Because that whole little jar
That is your weakness.
gonna be gone.
is-
That is my
this is-
Achilles.
This is like new information for me. I had no idea. I thought I knew you. I had no
I
idea.
know. Well,
No,
I have
Angela,
to keep
when
it
I would
fresh.
come home, when we lived together in New York, I would come
Keep it
home
fresh.
or wake up the next morning or whatever, and I would look in the kitchen sink. There would be like 8 spoons covered in peanut butter, sitting, like,
Right.
soaking in a glass.
I had to
Yeah,
get a
she's like,
new one
"Just
each
one
time.
more.
I still do that.
Just one more. Just
I
one
am very
more.
much a Sanderson in that way. Our parents do that. Bruce and Sally are known
Little
midnight eaters.
Mhm.
And actually, it's really funny because Scott didn't know that it's actually just recently come to light that I sneak downstairs and eat cookies and no one knows because I'm so quiet. And I had to tell him that he was like,
adorable.
I got you
You
some
got that
cookies
from our
and they're
mom.
gone. And I was like, yeah, I ate it at like 1:30 in the morning when I woke up for my
Are you talking about Scott, your fiance, Scott?
yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just want to make
Yeah.
sure everybody knew who you were
All right.
talking about, but we
Yeah.
didn't want to bury the lead except
All
for,
right.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right.
Mhm.
All right. Calm down. Calm down.
Anyway, yes, Natalie.
Anywho, yes.
So exciting.
Yes. So I do want to revisit this movie with marijuana involved. Okay.
Okay,
So-
fantastic.
So Lauren,
So I
is like
brought the
Cheech and
VHS
Chong.
home.
She comes home after
Okay.
living this Cheech and Chong daiquiri Jimmy Buffett life.
Okay,
Right,
no,
for
there
the
was
summer.
no Jimmy Buffett. I do not.
You said
appreciate
daiquiris.
that.
Daiquiris.
Daiquiris, yeah. Like we had a blender and we put popsicles and vodka in it. Okay, it wasn't.
Okay, so
weren't-
you lived this Cheech and Chong birdcage
it was not Cheech and
life.
Chong. It was more like Parker Posey and Party Girl.
Oh, you're
on a-
fancying it up. I
No,
hear
but
you.
on a
I hear you.
farm.
Poshy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, then
Mhm.
absolutely, Cheech and Chong. You're on a farm. Let's cut to the. Let's
Okay,
just
we were
let's
Cheech and
call a
Chong.
spade a spade.
But
Thank you.
We were Cheech and Chong.
So you came home.
And then I brought the VHS, and I was kind of not sure that Mom and Dad would get it. Because you don't know. I don't know. I watched
Yeah,
it so
I
many
know.
You never know.
times.
You don't know.
that,
With anyone
Mhm.
I show this movie to, I don't know.
it's
You don't
I
know.
pray for it because I don't.
I mean,
I honestly don't
what
relate
I've
to people that don't.
What I've learned is, I don't tend to like the people that I find
You know
out
that's
don't
right.
like it. I
1,000,000%.
That it comes down to that, but you're either pro or you're not in my life.
Oof. Couldn't
It's,
agree more.
That's harsh. Lauren,
It is
that's
No,
harsh.
It's not a decision
But you know
I
what?
consciously made. It's just something that it's like
I
an
know.
unveiling of who that person truly is.
I know.
And,
And
I
how
hate it.
smart and funny they are. So
And how like and like in like the first 30 seconds whether or not you're going to be into this because it just
Yes.
starts right off like
Oh,
talking about moving trash cans
immediately.
around the square from the city council and you're like
snipers,
We
y'all.
need a rifle.
and they
want to
have
Yeah. Don't you remember how
what happened
with the
pie
egging?
eating last year?
The pie. Oh, wait. Not yet, because we're going to tell everyone what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
So, all right,
Yeah.
Lauren comes home. She brings Waiting for Guffman. She's not sure about my parents. She obviously knows that I'm sharp as a tack.
Of course,
Lauren.
there was no doubt. So no, then they just started cackle laughing right out of the gates.
I hadn't seen my dad laugh that hard since she went to
It was
UMass.
like my dad has a special
wanna be
cackle laugh that he does this like a donkey like hee haw kind of thing where
Yeah.
he's like
I have it too. Like,
And
then he can't tell. He's like, and then
yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes. But he was heaving by, the end
Out the gate, pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And so we were hooked.
Then, years later, the DVD came out. We got that and found out on the deleted scenes, which were just
unbelievable.
Brilliant. They're all brilliant. It's just to find little gems like that was so exciting.
Oh yeah.
And he was telling all of his friends about this movie, and
Right.
not remembering the name of it, like knowing the plot. And if you talk about the plot of this movie, which we're about to just like touch on, because what we're going to do, listeners, today is Lauren, Angela, and I are going to take turns saying our favorite quotes from this movie. But the movie, Angela, why don't you just do like a brief little, just touch on what this
synopsis.
Movie's about. It's really cool.
Okay.
It's real easy.
It's really
So
easy.
quick.
So this town is called. It's in Missouri. Is that where it is?
Blaine. Yeah.
It's called Blaine, Missouri, and they're having their sesquicentennial celebration. I'm sorry, sesquicentennial celebration. And it starts with the city council planning it and talking about how they're going to have a special show put on this year because there's this wonderful director who's in town named Corky St. Clair, and he's going to be putting on this play for this sesquicentennial celebration. Wow, that's a lot of S's. And it starts out with it's basically just the story of how this play is put together. And halfway through them putting together this show, they find out that a big producer from New York City,
from
Broadway, is going to come and
Morton
see the
Guffman.
show. Yep. So they're all really excited, and it's like a community theater. It's the Blaine, is it the Blaine City Players? I think it says Blaine City Players, and they are going to put on the best darn show they possibly can. And it's the story of that and all these people's lives. And the whole thing is completely improvised.
Yes.
So we've talked about that before. And
it was structured, but like ad-libbed within the structure.
Yes. They had to get through, each scene had to get through a plot point, but how they got to that plot point and how they got through that plot point was completely improvised.
And the cast is Christopher Guest, who also co-wrote this with Eugene Levy.
Yes.
And Eugene Levy's in it. And then Catherine O'Hara, Fred Willard, Parker Posey.
Yep.
And Fred Willard. So those are the main...
Fred Willard is also in it. You said Fred Willard twice.
I did?
You said, it's okay. It's okay because Fred Willard is also in it.
My phone was going off and I looked down
fine.
for a second.
It's totally okay.
Well, he passed away in the last year, so I really wanted to do a little shout out.
Extra shout. But there's also some other people in this, like David Cross has a cameo in this.
David Cross, yep.
And Bob Odenkirk has a small cameo. No lines, but when you see that it's Bob Odenkirk, you like bust, at least I do, like bust out laughing.
Yes.
There's just, it's Bob Balaban, of course, is in this. All the people.
So those are so we love all of them. Okay, so let's jump to it.
Yes. Okay.
Lauren, you can go first. You can do, and my quotes are in order of the movie. So
me too.
If y'all need to jump around,
you can do this.
Okay,
we're gonna share quotes.
No, do it, and you go ahead. You start.
Tell the people what we're doing so that they know what we're doing.
We were going around saying our favorite quotes from this movie.
Okay, that's it. Okay, great. Okay. Excellent. Lauren.
Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna just kind of go in the middle. We'll start.
Go for it
that way. Just do the cones, make blizzards, put stuff on them. Just drive in and get a Coke if you're thirsty. That is Parker Posey explaining her job at the DQ.
At the DQ.
Queen. And she's the only one with a Southern accent in this whole thing, which is kind of funny. But I
know, she says y'all.
But her character is hysterical because I don't know if this was planned or if it's just something that she ad-libbed, but like she, without even saying anything, like her character implies that she's had some sort of abusive relationships in her past. or relationships that were inappropriate, and that she was
hard run.
Sexualized as a child. But it's just she doesn't do it with words. She just does it with her presence. It's fascinating.
She's amazing.
In her choices.
Well, I think
like
part
the
of that is
teacher's
because
pet. She sings "Teacher's Pet" for the audition, and all of those auditions were completely a surprise to everybody sitting at the table. By the way,
you can tell by their face, their facial expressions.
Trying not to die laughing. And those auditions. Yeah. Let's just start with the auditions first.
Wait. Okay.
Y'all. Okay. Sorry. It's
I know
really hard
we're
to stay
too excited
with something like this.
Same. I know. But I'm worried that someone's going to say my quote on my first one. So Angela,
you're just trying to get your quote.
I'm making it about me right now. So
got it. Okay. So my first favorite character from this whole thing is when Gwen Fabian Blunt is talking to the camera. They're all being interviewed, and they're all being interviewed about what it's going to be like to have this big thing happen in their town. And they interview Gwen, and she goes, well, being a Fabian certainly isn't easy. I mean, I can understand how the Kennedys feel.
That's my first quote on here.
It's just, it's so
her family were perfection. The founders of Blaine. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Blaine, Missouri.
And you just die of laughter because she's so serious. They're so serious. These people are so serious, and their acting is so spot on that you really do feel like you're a fly on the wall. You cannot believe what you're seeing.
It's unbelievable. Okay,
you go, Nat.
So mine's in the same kind of order. So this is when Corky St. Clair, who is the writer and director of the story of Blaine, this is the play that they're doing, and he's from New York and whatever. So he's talking about when he did the play Backdraft in Blaine. And he says, the conceptualization, the whole abstraction, the obtuseness of this production. And I
wrote that down.
Actually means
I wrote that down.
Somebody who doesn't get the joke.
Yeah, nobody. But he is like in this movie. He says a lot of these people say words that are not real, or he says so much that's not is not applicable to what he's talking about. But he says the obtuseness of this production, it's just the influctuations of all of them, but really Corky St. Clair is what, and I love that it was like all these big words that he loved to use, and none of it didn't make sense. Really. No.
And he had been talking, you said it before, he was talking about his production of Backdraft, and then it cuts back to pictures of Backdraft, and it's Catherine O'Hara and Fred Willard, and he's clearly like the fireman, and Catherine O'Hara has like
the workhorses,
silt on her face,
soot all over her face,
and because those two are like the stars of the Blaine County player,
and they're not good
players. They're not good, but they are the stars. Yes, they're the stars.
Perfect community theater actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are perfection.
Like they wear jogging suits to auditions and towels around their neck, and
Yes.
All right, Lauren, your turn.
So I'm going to kind of jump around if that's cool. But I like David Cross's cameo when he's talking, because part of this whole, mockumentary is talking about the history of Blaine. The play is going to be about the history of Blaine, and part of their history is an alien abduction, apparently.
Right.
And he's talking about, David Cross's character is visiting the site of said alien abduction, where somebody has mowed a circle into the grass, and he's measuring it and talking about how that he truly believes is where the aliens landed, etc. And he said, take for instance the word Blaine. There are 5 letters in the name Blaine. Mix them up, mix the letters around, move them around. Eventually, you get Nabali, which is the name of a planet far, far away.
Yeah. I mean, he's just created this whole
and the
narrative.
Fact that he's trying to measure the radius.
Yeah.
But the diameter stays the same. He's like, but the radius is always changing.
And the temperature is always the same.
But it's because he doesn't have a long enough tape measure to measure the actual diameter.
And you see that.
Anyways, yeah. So
it shows the whole thing. It's really very, very clever. So clever.
Okay, Ange.
So my favorite next part follows right up with when they're in the show. One of my favorite things in this show is all the music. Obviously, I had to include the music as part of my favorite quotes because they're all so freaking good. And I'm not going to sing all of them for you, but I am going to sing this one that was specifically about when in the show, the Martian or whatever comes down to see them, and it's Eugene Levy, and he's in a Martian suit, and he comes throughout this the spaceship, and he like hits his head on the door, and then he comes out and he's like, hello, doing this whole thing. And then this song starts up and it's like, do, 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 do. And he's like, nothing ever happens on Mars. And it's like this whole thing, no fun, dun, 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 no fun guitars. And then he's like, we stand around and sit down and sit somewhere. And then he goes, boring, boring. And the whole cast is doing this dance. Boring. Oh my gosh. I know. I think about that too. Like whenever someone's boring me to death, I'm just like, boring. Yeah. So funny.
Boring.
Yeah. There's so many great lines from this movie that just over and over make it into my daily discussions.
Yes.
All right. Natalie, you go. Tell us another one that you love. Yes.
Okay. So I remember this part, and the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God. It just like really took me off. This is part of the auditions.
Yes.
And, it's the guy, this random man, older gentleman just comes in and he says, I'm going to do a scene from Raging Bull.
Yes.
And he's just talking. He's by himself. He goes, you fuck my wife? What? You fuck my wife? How you ask me a question like that? I'm your brother. How can you even ask me that? Where do you get the balls big enough to ask me that? And then they
cut
go to Corky
Corky
St. Clair, and he's like,
I think that's the first time Dad like hee-haw laughed.
That's when, yeah. He's like, he's just like, he's standing there and talking to himself, going back and forth. He's like, and his influctuations, nothing. The only thing he's like, how can you ask me a question like that? Why would you ask me like that? I'm your brother. Why can you ask me like that? Where do you get the balls big enough to ask me a question like that? And then that's it. And then that's the end of his audition. So that was always that I've always like, even Bruce at work will be like, I mean, privately, like you like casually like, you fuck my wife, like in the voice. Like, Lauren, your turn.
Okay. I have a big thing for Eugene Levy's character in this, Alan Pearl. Mm-hmm. Just because most of my favorite quotes are his quotes. There's, but it's honestly, it's between him and Fred Willard and Catherine O'Hare. But what was it? So I'm just going to, the first one that he says that blew me out of the water was, well, he's talking about how he was, had the entertaining bug as a child, and, and he likes to cut people up and make people laugh at parties. And people say, well, you must have been the class clown. And I said, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown and I studied him.
Yes, I have that written down too. And honestly, I found that wildly relatable.
Yeah, like, I've definitely
and I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat next to the class clown and I studied him. That guy,
so good.
We might need to do a Eugene Levy pit stop, actually. I mean, it's pretty.
That sounds good. Yeah, we can do that. All right, Ange.
Okay, so my next super duper favorite quote is when it's towards the end, and it's the show goes on, and you start to realize that the councilman, Steve Stark, is basically in love with Corky, and just the whole time you're like watching this, and you're like, oh my gosh, he has got eyes for Corky, like big time. Yeah. And then they interview him, and he goes, I mean, he can act, and he can sing, and he can dance. There's only one other person in the world who can do that, and that's Barbara Streisand. And I'm like, yes.
He's the one at the end
every time.
At the end of the show, he's clapping for the show at the end of the show, and he's going, Corky! 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 Like, it's so
good.
As if he was at a Justin Bieber concert.
The first version of the script, he and Corky end up together in New York at the end.
Oh, I love that.
That's right. I love that. I know.
So great.
I know.
I love that.
I know. I also want to mention, just an honorable mention to Corky's toupee. I mean, it's stunning.
That wig, that little wiglet. I love it. It's a wiglet.
We always have to talk about people's hair on Put Your Books Down.
We're hair heavy.
We're hair people.
Yeah, we're hair people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially when you got great hair. Okay, I got one.
Yeah.
So this was Corky St. Clair, and this is the scene set up is during rehearsal, and the guy that plays the music director is very serious, and I can't remember his name, but he's in a
Bob
lot of stuff.
Balaban.
That's
It's
right.
Bob Balaban.
And he takes the music very seriously, and and obviously the cast has not been practicing the music portion of the show, and he's very frustrated. So he goes up to Corky and he's basically like, I think we need to talk about the music. He's like, why are you whispering? Like in front of it, it's like when you kick someone under the table, like, why are you kicking me? So it was something like that. And he's like, well, they need to learn the music. He's like, well, they learn it, they forget it. He's like, but then they forget it. And Corky's really funny. And then at the end of the conversation, he goes, I mean, it's just like, it's a Zen thing. It's like, how many babies, fit in the tire thing, that old joke, and you're just like, and he's just staring at him like, I want to die. I mean, it was just like, what is that? And on this podcast, I've said that how many babies fit in the tire thing. Like, I still don't even understand it, but I guess that was an old joke.
That's the brilliance.
No one gets, it's bizarre.
I'm sure we could research that and find the origin of that. But
that's not as
Corky's
fun.
got his little, I think Corky really is the star of the show, I think hands down. Yeah. And there was one point where like Corky was almost not in the movie. Did you read that, Lauren, in the trivia of this?
No.
Like where Christopher Guest was like, maybe Corky just shouldn't even be in this. And it should just be about this play. And they're like, no, he has to be in this. He's the whole thing. Like, yeah. I mean, it's just, and I won't go on. Go ahead, Lauren. It's your turn to tell us your next favorite part.
Well, it's a part. I don't know if it's my favorite part, but I also found it triggering, which is when they're rehearsing the music at the very beginning. And Angela, I'm sure you have similar feelings about this. It's kind of like a flashback to a million choirs I've been in, where the musical directors divides them up and they're singing about, nothing ever happens in Blaine. And he divides them into groups. And he said, now you guys on this side, you say whatever happens in Blay, but you don't say the na, you just say Blay. And then this group says nothing ever happens in Blaine. With emphasis on the and everybody's just staring at them like, what?
Like you don't say the na, y'all don't say the na.
You say the na, you don't say the na. Yeah. It's choir so like
it is total shivers, because that is exactly like when you're in a high school choir, your choir teacher is trying to get the cutoffs tight, and so they try to do these little tricks and they overthink it, and it just makes it way more complicated than just having some untight n's. It's just,
and he's the perfect choir teacher example, because he's overthinking the music, and putting so much emphasis on music that's not even good.
Yes. So delusional of what the product is.
That it's like his masterpiece. And at the end, he's like waiting for like an encore. Like it's like the weird music teacher bravada, like the ego. Yeah.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Love it.
They just nailed this all through this. They just nail it.
I know. It's
perfect. It's like these people are just real. I know the dancing, everything,
all the movement they were doing, like the dee, like with the arms and everything. It was so perfect community theater. I mean, Natalie and I were in community theater a lot growing up, and
me too.
I assumed.
Yes,
but and they had us children doing interpretive dances to Enya, in front of our parents, and our parents would sit there and be like, "This is what we paid for."
Right. Sorry. My kids are funny. Why are they doing dance? Why does Natalie have jazz shoes on? She's never had a dance class.
It was so.
Where are their microphones?
No, it was gross. It should be illegal.
Yeah, it was just.
But anyways, the interpretive dance to Enya is what should be illegal, not community theater. Let's just
of course, but
yeah, it's painful to watch, but it's hysterical
because it's relatable, right, Angie?
The next one that I had was when Corky is being interviewed and he's talking about how he met Mrs. Pearl, and he says, well, I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. And the whole time through this show, there's supposedly Corky has a wife named Bonnie. And we're like, you mean your imaginary wife? Because we never ever see Bonnie. We never. Anyway, this is the whole quote. I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes. And Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it was just an accident, we started talking about pantyhose. She was saying, whatever, that's not the point of the story. But what the point is that through this accidental meeting, it's like a Hitchcock movie, you know, where you're thrown into a rubber bag and put in the trunk of a car. You find people. You find them.
People.
Is it
something.
karma?
Is it karma? Maybe. But we found him. That's the important thing. I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
And I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
I love that. That's
so good.
Yes. All right, now I want all three of us to go into the restaurant, the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, yes.
Scene.
Perfect.
Chinese
oh my gosh. Yes.
So I have like Ron's quote about like where he said like, I don't know, where like, you know, in China they kill a monkey at the table and split his head open and eat the brains right out of it. Like,
right.
Kind of sets it up. But then when Catherine O'Hara is drunk,
Ron
she's
and
overserved.
Sheila are travel agents.
Right.
Blaine.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and it's ironical because they run a travel agency, but they've never been outside of Blaine. So that's a quote.
Ron went to Jefferson City once.
Right.
And then she's on the side. She's on the side of the camera, going, "Tell him what
you went for." He's
she's
like,
white
minor
wine
surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So in this scene, she's white wine drunk, and it's her and Ron are having dinner with Eugene Levy and his wife, and so, and Catherine O'Hara's clearly already drunk, and there's a part where he's like, they're telling them that they can go to Miami, and like have these like great packages and stuff. And Eugene Levy's like, oh, and they're both like, well, we'd love to go to Miami. And Catherine was like, you don't need to go anywhere. Everything you want is here in Blaine. You don't need to go anywhere. And
you don't need to go to China.
And then Ron's like something like, and then something about like the Chinese food gets brought up, and she says something, you know, like, we're talking about Miami now, dear. We're not talking about China. We're talking about Miami, dear. And she's like there aren't Chinese people in Miami. And like, he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, we're talking about China now. We're talking about Miami. Like, so she's sucking back to him and then sets herself up for, and I'll let one of you guys do it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, and she goes, shh, don't talk. Don't talk. And then she asks, girl talk. Okay. And then she asks Eugene Levy's wife, what's it like to be with a circumcised man? And then like the camera almost like goes down. Like, and Ron like grabs her.
I've only ever been with Ron.
Yeah. I said to him, Ron, I've only been with Ron. He's the only man I've ever been with. And then he had to get a surgery done. And he says, she's like, he had minor surgery. She says, it isn't minor anymore. And it's a penis reduction surgery. I had a penis reduction surgery, you know. Where she said, I said, Ron, you got to do something. I mean, Ron, do something. You know, he said, well, why are you one of those vagina enlargements?
He's like, can we get some coffee at the table?
And scene.
Well, why don't you get one of those vagina enlargements?
Catherine O'Hara is so perfect. Everything about her in this film is perfect. Her hair is perfect. Her hair is flipped up in the front.
Her bangs.
Her perm, her bangs, her whole look, her little woven
like
vest.
An Avon type skincare line on the side. Like, it's just all of it.
I know.
Oh, that's right.
She's perfect. Perfection as per usual. Because she's Catherine O'Hara. She's perfect.
Yes.
Oh,
okay, we got to start winding down, but we have to. We can't go on without mentioning the meeting that Corky St. Clair has with the town people in the middle of it, while he needs more funding. Yes, and that's something that our family has quoted forever. And like anytime when I have to ask my dad for money, this is literally something that we would say. Lauren, you've done it more than anybody, like just as a funny. So you do it.
So what I need from you, because you're the townspeople, and he's asking the city council for something. He's like, no, what I need from you is $100,000.
Wait, so
that's
but you gotta do the whole thing.
Put a pin in that. That's the quote that Natalie and I say.
That's how we shortened it.
Whenever
yes,
we were like, I left my credit card at home. So
I was like, what I need from you, because you're the bosses of the town, and I know that. You know, and I know that. This is so hard.
And then they
is $100,000. And they're like, oh, he's not. They start laughing, and they're like, oh, he's not joking because he's like,
he's
like,
completely
Corky's
dumbfounded.
You know,
Right.
the
And
whole
they go on
city
about
budget
why
is
they can't.
$15,000, and that includes the pool. And he goes, well, I don't have any swimming in my show. They're like, right, right.
Then he says, wait.
And then he gets mad and does this whole monologue. But he gets like when you get down to the end of that whole monologue, he says,
and I'll tell you why I can't put up with you people, because you're bastard people. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to bite my pillow is what I'm going to do.
Good. No way, Corky. You're not putting up with these people. And I tell you why I can't put up with these people. It's because you're bastard people. Bastard people. That's what you are. But he obviously has a temper.
What about when Johnny Savage calls to say
that's the other best one?
The show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I just hate you, and I hate your ass face."
Now
classic
that's
line.
Another major quote that I say a lot,
all the time,
all the time,
all the time.
I mean, I think I said it today.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. And then as the movie wraps up, you know, the play happens. We'll let people watch it if they haven't. I'm sure they have. But he goes back to New York. And he is going to be in the new My Fair Lady. Y'all, I'm not going to do it, Lauren.
You have to do it. It's yours. It's yours, Natalie.
Yeah, you have to do it.
So he is working on his Cockney accent for My Fair Lady. And he's like, you know, I'm in charge of, I don't remember. I've never seen that movie. So I don't know which guy is the one.
Henry Higgins.
What?
I don't
Henry
remember.
Higgins.
My Fair Lady?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm sure you did.
It's really long.
It looked boring.
Really long.
So he's working on his Cockney accent, and he goes, so, you know, I'm saying like, L-O, O-R-O. Do you want to go to Artford? Not live in this L-O. And he's taking the H's out of all these words.
And that equals Cockney.
And that equals Cockney, which is amazing.
And he also has a Remains of the Day lunchbox.
Yep, that's the other one.
He's like, because no child is happy when, you know, unless
kids don't like eating at school, but if they have a Remains of the Day lunchbox, they're a lot happier.
Because he has a little store where he sells memorabilia from shows and stuff.
Yes.
Yes. And he shows them all the little things. And that store, I want to go to that store that he has.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
You know, he has the figurines of
Anthony Michael Hall.
No, his bobbleheads.
Dinner with Andre.
Michael Hall. Dinner with Andre figurines where he just reenacts Dinner with Andre.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
And he's just got the dolls.
Movie. It's just a conversation at a table for like an hour and a half. Anyways, it's hysterical.
It's just like these bizarre references. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh. My favorite Corky, though, is when he says, you know, what the city council did was really give me a challenge, and it's a challenge that I'm going to accept. It's like in the olden days, in the days of France, when men would slap each other with their gloves, say, you know, D'Artagnan, you know, how dare you talk to me like that, you
talk to me,
you, and smack them, smack them. Just people, if you haven't seen Waiting for Guffman, we can't even do it justice. We are just dorks talking about all these quotes because we're not even going to be able to do it justice. Just the fact that like it's their body movements, it's these extremely great, wonderful improv actors, and all of how they embody these characters, from every single thing, from like the little movements they do to the inflections in their voices to their costumes to just the whole entire thing. It's like, I just can't get enough.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
There's one more thing I wanted to point out, if that's cool, and it's a Catherine O'Hara thing. And it's because I've seen her do it in other things, like almost everything that I've seen her in, like Beetlejuice and Schitt's Creek, everything. But where she's talking, but she says, so I want to try the less is more acting, where when you're talking to someone, but you're looking at them, but your eyes are closed when you're talking to them. But when you look away, you don't look at them. But when you talk to them, you close your eyes. But when you look away, you look out. So, which is hysterical. But also, she does that.
Yeah.
And like everything she does. So it's kind of funny that she's kind of calling herself out.
I love that. Well, that's the whole fun about it too, is that you know these people are just having a blast because they know all these tropes. They know all this stuff. They're actors.
They're making fun of all the hacks.
They're making fun of all and themselves, because we've all gone through all of this. Even when you're a pro, you have all these things, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
God, when I was in like the school plays, I took it so seriously. I was absolutely Ron and
everybody
Sheila.
had that.
Like,
we're going to Broadway.
I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
Bruce gave us fake Academy Awards for our school. I have mine on display on my mantle. I don't know where yours
You
is,
do.
but real
mine
proud.
is in.
Mine
is hiding under the treadmill.
That's too bad. That's a real shame.
You need to put that out
It's
on
not.
display,
I know.
Lauren. You need to be proud of that.
Hers was
You
for
do.
cheaper by the dozen.
Maybe I don't think I earned it. Okay.
Well, maybe you don't feel. Maybe you need to do a little Sally Field speech.
Could have done a better performance.
Guess who knew? I know I earned mine, and it was on one day, 2 times.
Yeah.
I won Best Actress at school that year.
All right, we have to do a pit stop.
Let's do a quick pit stop.
Okay. Lauren, we're going to ask you about Leo because he's behind your head right now. I don't know if people can see if they're watching on YouTube.
What a nice personal
Leo. So, Lauren, I don't know if you've listened to our podcast lately, but there was one point where Natalie asked me about Leo, and I said I thought Leo was kind of gross, and I was like, I don't want to get with Leo, and she was appalled. So I want to hear your thoughts on Leo.
Yeah,
I get it.
People were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, right.
In case nobody
Is
knows.
there any other one?
Right.
Sorry.
You mean
somebody
my thoughts
might.
the thoughts on the fact that you're not into him and you don't want to?
No, your thoughts on how you feel about Leo.
What are your thoughts on Leonardo DiCaprio?
I like him.
I mean, you met him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I worked with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's reel this back. So you're just going to go ahead and just bury the lead, just coolly, just be like...
episode, she just like destroys my heart with her interactions with Brad Pitt. And now Leo.
So we're going to need to hear that story right now. So go ahead.
Right now.
Oh no! It was part of my job when I worked at Giorgio Armani. I managed the haute couture business and also was one of the me and my boss managed the VIP client stuff. So especially if they were one of Mr. Armani's friends came in, and we would shop with them and kind of help them through. And it was really sweet. He brought his mother in, and it was when he was doing The Departed.
They're real close.
Yeah, Ermelyn.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me. Sorry, interruption. You didn't tell me this was during him filming The Departed. That's one of his oddest times.
No.
Ever.
It wasn't when he was filming Departed. It was when he was preparing for the premieres.
Natalie?
Filming.
Natalie.
Cool it. Right after.
Settle.
I don't know what difference that makes. But
a lot.
I mean, he's
makes a big difference to Natalie, apparently.
He is, right, Lauren? He's so hunky, right?
Yeah, he's attractive.
Yeah.
He came in and brought his mom, and I was helping him pick out clothes for her. He wanted to be involved. It was really sweet. Aww. He's like really good with his mom and good to her. And she was going to be his date to, I think, the Departed premiere in Rome. And so he asked me to get her clothes, and he asked me to ask Mr. Armani if they could be for free. And I did take care of that for him.
Oh my God.
And then we went shopping around the store together. I had to meet him at the store, and they had to like kind of close it down. There were paparazzi like everywhere outside.
Whoa.
And he had already like snuck in through the back and all the stuff. And his mom, I don't know. They just find him. But we were pulling handbags and shoes and dresses. And he was kind of just like a big kid. He was really nice, but he's very like playful and fun, and he just wanted to like kind of dance around. And like I put like I think like 8 handbags like on my arm just to carry up to the VIP floor with us in the elevator, and he hopped on and like put some on his arm, and then he like shoved his arm through all of the handbags with my arm, and he was just like trying to make everybody, or not everybody, he was just trying to make people feel comfortable. But yeah, he was just
I don't remember those details.
Natalie's face.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Anyways,
Lauren, this is
then we got
hostile.
Up there.
This is a safe space.
It's a safe space. It's okay.
You can be jealous. It's okay.
Okay.
It's healthy. I'm fine.
Okay.
When
you say it like that,
Leo
just kidding.
I know. No. So we got upstairs, and he was like, I need you to stay with my mom and help her. And I did. And he had to run off because the paparazzi got too intense. We had to sneak him out the back again. And then he sent me a bottle of wine as a thank you. And
okay.
Yeah. Nice.
And we drank
did you drink that bottle of wine?
And I drank that bottle of wine with Natalie and Collins.
Thank you.
And I still have that. Yeah, we saved the bottle because it was funny because we didn't drink it for a while. And Natalie and Collins had threatened to drink it when I go on work trips.
sitting there, and
I was
his
like,
own
I don't think
his
it's like,
label.
because it says, because he had like one of those.
It says it's
label
from Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh
on
my
the label.
God.
on it.
Okay.
It's like a gift thing or whatever.
It was burning a hole on our shelf in our shitty apartment.
He's really cute, and he's a nice person.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. All
Well,
right.
Yeah.
I love all of that, except I don't love cheap, and I feel like that sounds a little cheap.
You don't like what?
For what? I don't
Yeah.
like cheap.
Oh no, that's not cheap. That's common. Are you kidding?
But wanting all free stuff, like I don't understand. I guess that's
it's not about the money.
Yeah, I guess that's
Mr. Armani and him were like buds. He would like.
Well, I single-handedly think he still wears Armani to all of his premieres.
Exactly. He's a loyalist, and so
he worked with Lauren. It's because he worked with Lauren.
It's because he worked with Lauren.
Yes.
Yep.
No,
That's
that
it.
really grew his connection to Armani.
It was just me getting his mom free stuff.
Who doesn't love that
Strings,
face?
but like he gets free stuff forever, like because he's loyal to the brand. But anyways,
I think it was his new favorite VIP helper.
Dude. What?
Flirty.
He's a fun, flirty dude.
Where's this?
I know. Collins is like,
fine.
All right, we got to wrap her up. Lauren, clearly we've opened a can of worms. She's like, let me just talk a little more about Leo. Also, yeah, we know we could talk about this all day.
I'm fine.
Natalie's
fine.
okay. Natalie's okay.
I'm fine.
She's fine.
I'm fine.
She's fine. She's fine.
I'm good.
All right. Well, I think Natalie and Lauren, two little girls from Little Rock, once again, so joyful having you on the pod, Lauren. And
thank you, Lauren.
welcome back to Little Rock for a little while. And
so much fun.
maybe you'll go back to LA, or maybe you'll just stay in Little Rock, and then everybody will see what's
cool. But
yeah,
so let's be cool.
She's
makes her uncomfortable.
look at her face.
Don't do it. Don't do that, Angel. It makes her uncomfortable. I don't blame her. She hears it at least 3 times a day.
People
from
say
all
that to me
people.
all the time. She's like, when are you moving back west? Yeah, I know. It's okay.
Here.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all
I
good.
just want to say to you, both of you, I've been doing a lot of yoga. And so I want to say to both of you, namaste. Penny for your thoughts. Questioning Penny for your thoughts. We didn't get to talk about Penny for your thoughts.
I know. What was that scene?
In the play.
Good. In the
I
play.
know, but why?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I'm going to say to you, Lauren, I love you. Angela, I love you. Thank you guys so much. But I will say to both of you, namaste. Boring, 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 boring.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. Lauren.
I'm going to say nama sardonically irreverent. Dibbick schmibbick. I said more ham.
That was amazing.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right,
everybody.
I love you guys.
Love
Thank
you all.
you, listeners.
Love you all.
Look at us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Leave reviews. Thank you so much.
We love you.
Godspeed, and we love your guts and nuts. And I love you guys. I love y'all's guts and nuts.
And stool boom. Bye.
Stool boom.
Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.